Kandreva.
And they get away very quickly indeed, extremely quickly, and a beautiful start by Alain Prost, who goes into the lead with Berger coming up behind Senna. So it is Prost leading, Senna second, Berger in third position, Alessandro Nannini up into fourth place.
And believe you me, we have very, very high emotions running in both those cockpits. The drivers, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that they hate each other. And on that basis, to be racing at those speeds at a further and rather unnecessary dimension, to have heavy emotional feelings of antipathy towards each other, but that is the situation. It also makes the pressure much greater for Prost with his lead. His dislike for Senna makes him much more twitchy and much more inclined, if possible, to make a mistake. And an anxious McLaren team there, and Senna again closer than ever before.
This is Alain Prost, 150th Grand Prix, so he has had experience of just about every situation, including this one. The situation of being in the lead with the second place man treading on his rear wheels almost, and having to resist that pressure, keep his racing line, not go wide, not leave an opportunity and a door open through which Senna would be like a flash. Now, there are very few cars left on the circuit. There's 14 running now out of the 26 who started. And if Prost comes up to any of them, this is the opportunity that Senna's looking for. And he's going through. Ouch! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. They meet. This is what we were fearing might happen during the race. And that means to say that Prost has won the World Championship. Alain Prost, world champion of 1989.
Well, and just look at this, because Ayrton Senna, who can get going again, but he's been pushed, that's outside assistance. And I'm afraid to say that that is all over for Ayrton Senna, and it was his own fault because of the slow corner. He wasn't past Prost, and he went into a gap, and Prost had every right to turn into him there. And I'm afraid that that was self-inflicted. Senna has got going again. He's back on the track, but he will for sure be disqualified for receiving a push start there.
Well, that is contentious. The rule says that you can be pushed if you are judged to be in a dangerous position. So it could well come down to a steward's decision of some kind, but look at the problems that Senna is going to have with car handling. And now, of course, Alessandro Nannini is very much in the running, and it could be that we're going to see the Benetton Ford winning and a Benetton winning, and Senna is still leading. Senna with this twisted nose cone and very dodgy handling, and it's coming to pieces. He's going to have to come into the pits to have it replaced. He goes off, he's lost downforce, of course, and that dramatically affects adversely the handling of the car. No wings on either side.
Now, will Senna come in to change that nose, or will he try and stay out? He is still leading the race, remember, but of course he really should be disqualified. So he's pushed up and he goes into the pit, so they're going to try putting a new nose on the car, maybe. He's in the pit road, and here is Nannini, who will take over the lead of the race.
Yes, indeed he will, and the question then will be, can Ayrton Senna, with this new nose cone, depending on what the position is, either regain the lead or retain the lead? Well, we're watching now for Nannini. Nannini is in the lead. Alessandro Nannini leads the Japanese Grand Prix as Ayrton Senna leaves the pit lane. And my guess is, and it's very much a guess, that Senna, in the mood that he's in now, on lap 48, will catch and pass lap 49. Can catch and pass Nannini, and then win the World Championship if he wins in Australia. Well, this really is a dramatic ending to the Japanese Grand Prix. Alain Prost out, it doesn't affect his chance. Here's a replay, now let's look. Senna comes up to try and go through on the inside. Prost moves across, takes them both out.
Yes, well, Senna went for a gap that wasn't there. You could see quite clearly that Prost was already turning into the corner. And Senna put himself in an absolutely impossible situation.
Ayrton Senna in the second position, which is absolutely no use at all to him in terms of the World Championship. Now up to Nannini, he's going to try and go through into the left-hander, and this is lap 51, 2 laps to go at the end of this one, each lap of 3, and through. Now, Nannini smokes up, Ayrton Senna leads at the conclusion of lap 51 in this absolutely riveting Japanese Grand Prix with 2 laps to go, notwithstanding the fact that he's gone into Prost, had a new nose cone.
Well, that certainly was a very brave manoeuvre after what had just happened to him a couple of laps ago, but of course he was able to do the same thing to Nannini as he did to Prost, but then Nannini wants to be second. Prost didn't want to be second, had no reason to be second. He comes through to win the race on the road.
And hold on to your hats, Australia, because it could well be that the World Championship is going to be decided at Adelaide in 2 weeks' time. But Ayrton Senna wins in Japan. Is there going to be a steward's inquiry? Alain Prost will have one if he can, but Nannini, just behind Ayrton Senna, in a magnificent finish, takes his highest ever place, second. The 2 Williams cars of Riccardo Patrese and Thierry Boutsen, third and fourth. Nelson Piquet lapped but fifth. And then, unseen by any of us because of the battle for the lead, Martin Brundle in 6th position. A sensational Japanese Grand Prix, but there was more to come when a joyful Ayrton Senna, believing he had won, learned that he'd been disqualified. Not for being push-started from a dangerous position, that was legal, but for avoiding the chicane after he got going. So, Alessandro Nannini was declared to be the race winner in Japan, which automatically meant that a bitter and indignant Alain Prost had won his 3rd World Championship. But the controversy is far from over. As Nannini and Prost accepted their contentious successes, there came the amazing news that McLaren had appealed against Senna's disqualification, despite the fact that their own man, Alain Prost, who significantly will be driving for Ferrari in 1990, had just become world champion. With that, the latest news here at Suzuka, as the arguing continues, is that subject to appeal, Nannini did win the Japanese Grand Prix and that Alain Prost is world champion.